wanna spend my life with you all day. You say that you love me, is it true? You say I'm the only one that's all for you. Okay, make me feel away, make me feel away. Shorty so damn dangerous, fuck me like I'm famous, yeah. I've been so impatient, so glad that you made it here. Took my dick and faced it, shorty going crazy, yeah. Thought that you was playing, told me spray it everywhere. She want me to take it, what you tryna do? Shorty said she
So who is Sean Brunson?
Oh, we get straight to it. All right. Sean Brunson is the founder and CEO of the Brunson League, Pro-Am here in Baltimore. Proud graduate of an HBCU from Morgan State University. And somebody just trying to do major things in the community as much as I can, man. I use my platform as much as I can. Need to use it a lot more on and off the court and see what we can do with that stuff.
Man, talk to us more about, like, get into depth about how it all started for you with the Brunson League. What made you do it? Because now you're going on, what, this 6th year?
6. This is about to be my 9th year.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
You know, he been doing
6 upside down.
Yeah.
What made me get into it, man, was playing the game myself. Like, I didn't play at the highest level, but always had a passion for the game. Played at BCCC, had to leave the team to help out my mother financially. And when I started doing that, I started to play in, rec leagues around the city. And I realized, we pay our money, we play in these leagues, and when we play, you don't get nothing. Like, you don't get jerseys, they ain't track stats, there was nothing for it. So I originally wanted to actually help somebody else out. So the leagues I played in, it's like, I have an idea, we can make it better. Older white guys, to be nice about it, they stuck in their ways, like, yeah, I don't need any help, I'm good. So by the time I was at my junior year at Morgan State, I decided, you know what, I'll probably just start my own league and see how I go. Reached out to my contacts with BCCC. A couple of my guys had actually started to go overseas by that point. So I'm gonna start this league with my friends pretty much and see what we could do from there. So 2014, right after I graduated, let's get it started. I had 6 teams, average talent at best. I was out there by damn self still.
You was in that little gym I remember over
Baltimore Junior Academy.
Yeah.
I was out there like, I'm taking the stats. I got my man on the clock. It's my team turn to play. I hop up, change up, get my buckets, go back to the stats again for the next game, and keep it rolling. I started putting stuff online, and people started to see like, yo, he got points, rebounds, assists, blocks. He tracks everything. They got jerseys, little match jerseys. You feel me? They actually had jerseys. So to start off with that was a good thing, and then from there it just catapulted like to the next level. I mean, I'm pretty sure we get into that later on, but that's how it started.
Like, I remember Sean Brunson from like elementary and middle school. Like, I remember you, it used to be you and a couple other people, like, you always said, this is what I want to do, drawing the tennis shoes from out the East Bay magazine and everything else like that. It's like, so it's just amazing to saying like your dreams that you had back then it's bigger than probably what you even thought it was going to be even, in grade school, you know what I mean?
Definitely is. Going back to those elementary, middle school days, man, I could take it as far back as, like, didn't have a computer at the time, I had a typewriter. So when you got the typewriter, I had, like, tournaments with my friends on Sega Genesis. And, we have our tournaments. I was tracking stats from that. So hop on the typewriter, ching, bring it back, you know how it goes. So I would do it there. Like, I had my tournaments. I would have the little toy, like, VCR camera set up for our own version of Sports Center. Like, basketball has always been who I am. That is my identity. Right. So to be able to do this at this level on my own terms, I definitely didn't see that coming.
It's very good that you did that though, because going back to what you said about how older white guys always were stuck in their ways, it's good that, a person of your skin can open up and do that for us. You know what I'm saying? Because it's hard to get in those leagues. It's hard to start stuff. Because you know how that goes. Black people can't never have nothing.
It's real. Like, it's real. Be somewhat hard to start it, man. Like, I thought it was going to be as easy as I go to a gym, let them know I'm about to start a league, and they say, oh, well, here you go. How much you going to charge me? Simple. Man, I was bouncing around going to gym after gym after gym, getting denied or getting charged like astronomical prices because they think the young black kid can't do math, I guess.
Right.
Like, I'm not paying for that. So I always had my business plan with me. I had my stuff laid out. Would get no responses or turned down, like I said, left and right. Me, man of God, proud of it. I was losing my faith at that time. I hadn't been to church.
Don't tell him that. Don't tell him that.
Oh yeah. I'm
Yeah,
still look. I hadn't been to church at that time probably about 2-3 years, man.
Damn.
My mother finally convinced me to go again. The day we go to church, our normal pastor is not there. You had your youth pastor,
Right.
so he's up there, and you know he goes off script, if you will. You start feeling that he's in the spirit and starts calling on random people. So it's like, you know, you in the blue dress. The Lord told me to tell you this. I'm like, I see why you calling her. I get it. Yeah, man. Oh, you in the black. Okay, I see why you calling her. I get it. I ain't paying no attention. Put my head down. I'm on my phone. Next thing I know, and you in the back. I'm texting. My mother go, he talking. So I look up. He's like, it is something that's heavy on your mind. It's heavy on your heart. You're about to give up. You feel as though nobody cares. Nobody believes you. Do not give up. Your blessing's around the corner. It is around the corner. Stay strong. It is around the corner. They kept saying it.
Every time.
I lived on Dolefield at the time, West Baltimore. Again, going to moving state. So you got to go from West Cold Spring to East Cold Spring.
Mm-hmm.
Down the street around the corner was Baltimore Junior Academy.
Mm-hmm.
I walked in there after class one day, no business plan, no nothing, just walked in. It's the person who owns the gym here. He said, yeah, he's over here. I walked, I talked to him. He gave it, he said, oh, you got it. That's where you're going to start at.
I gave you that chance. That's what
Immediately. And like, I just thought about that again. Your blessing is around the corner. The random conversation calling me out, and it was literally right there. My faith never wavered again.
You know, they always say he bless you in the strangest ways, dog.
Most definitely.
Bless you in the
I
strangest
see you got a passion, man. So let's get into it a little bit. How you start recruiting some of these players that you got now? Like, that's starting the league, even early on and now. Like, when did it start becoming like, I can make this an annual thing for the Brunson League?
The plan was always to be annual. So year one, I actually called it like the Charm City Basketball Association before I got started, and changed it to the Maryland Basketball League for year one because I was like, all right, it's going to be bigger than Baltimore probably. So let me go statewide and say Maryland Basketball League. After year one, even with that average talent, my vision was clear. So I was like, I'm about to change this again. I'm going to actually put my name on it. I'm going to call it the Brunson League so it's not narrowed down to a location. Mm-hmm. So I feel like it's going to be a national known thing. Mm-hmm. So that's what I ended up doing with that. Man, when you say going back to that passion and how I feel about it and recruitment, social media, and the oldest yet best form of marketing is always going to be word of mouth. Mm-hmm. So when those guys that I had in the league are like, yo, you got to check this out. Again, we have jerseys. We had full stats. He got official referees, my niggas from around the corner. So you start getting that word out, guys that play junior college contact their friends that play D2. Contact their friends that play D1. Contact their friends that play overseas. And it just built from there every year and got bigger and better. If you want to go to the breakout year, I'm going to say 2017.
I don't remember that year.
When we went down UA House.
UA.
Man, I didn't think that year was going to be that crazy initially.
Talking about phenomenal. That joint.
You had big wins.
At that point, that's when it just started. That's when everything just started breaking. It took off.
That's why people think, like you said, 6 years. Like, nah, them years. And I'm
you
don't know
about
Jim.
I know because my brother was playing.
Another one of my favorites from that original squad.
Yeah.
Gotta go back to that.
Yeah.
But,
I'm team LED
always, man.
I mean, what's his name? They played L&D. They went to school in Milk.
Dev?
That's supposed to go back to all of that, man.
He was leading score for years.
Man, and you want to talk about word of mouth. I didn't have, at that time, no videographers or photographers. Mm-hmm. Man, Dev came through, had a game where he went crazy, dropped 63. And it's like the whole city found out. I'm like, yo, how? Nobody's in the gym. Mind you, at the time, the fans in the gym is like my mother, my stepfather, my sister, and like 2 random people. That's who's in the gym. So how the whole city find out about him scoring 63? Word of mouth is the best form of marketing. Yeah. And from there, it really took off. You mentioned Will. Yeah. I didn't think 2017 would be like that because 2016 is when Will actually reached out to me. Via social media.
I was about to ask you that. How did he reach out to you and stuff?
Man, social media. So Will reached out and was like, yeah, what time the game's on Sunday? I'm like, they go from like 5 to 9. Who you trying to see? Right. Like, see, I'm trying to play. So I was like, oh, shit.
You're like, oh, snap.
Right. And so I let him know about the game times, and he said, bet I'm coming through. Then that same weekend, the Nuggets gave his brother a tryout, if I'm not mistaken. So he didn't come. I'm like, all right. Opportunity gone. Never gonna have that again. Fast forward a little bit later in that summer, I was at Carver for 2016.
I remember
So,
that. I remember that. Yeah.
Carver,
That was a good year too.
it was getting, that was like really the start of it hitting that next level. And Carver, being, you know, Baltimore City stuff you gotta deal with, in the middle of my season, they tore up the court. Like they stripped the floor. So I had to go to a different venue for my playoffs and my All-Star game. All-Star game, I ended up settling on St. Francis. So the day I went to pay for the venue, it's cars all over the place. School is not in right now, so why is there so many vehicles everywhere? I walked in, I see it's a basketball camp going on. I go to the back, I make my payment, I come back out. I see somebody at the scorer's table surrounded by like all the kids and media and all that. It was Will. So I go over, introduce myself. He's like, oh, yeah. You, all right, back. Bang. He go back to talking. I'm like, yeah. Again, opportunity's gone. Quick little handshake, you feel me? Nothing special. He's like, yeah, but I'm gonna hit you up. I was like, all right, cool.
You just like,
yeah, it ain't happening, whatever. So then he did hit me up one day via Instagram again and was like, yo, Will the Thrill, PTF, 2017, put my own squad in. So the plan was to announce it in like probably around March or something. About 2 days later, this is now, I can't remember if this is November or December, when Dev got killed. When that happened, and like it shook the city up. You already know how much Dev meant to all of us beyond the basketball court. So when that happened, man, I didn't get no sleep that night. So my first thought was, do I reach out to Will, let him know, like, yo, after having such a negative announcement pretty much in the city, finding out about that, can we follow up with something positive immediately? And I announced that you're going to play in the league this summer. That's what I was thinking. Right. So back and forth in my own mind, like, I'm going to hit him up, find out. I reached my phone, I already had a DM from him, let's announce it now. So it was like he was already thinking the same thing I was.
That's dope. That's faith right there.
Yeah, so that's how we ended up announcing it. And of course, the city went crazy.
Sure did. I remember that. The first game was booked. Come on, cars.
Yeah, it was. But you had to. It was hard to
get there.
Get there early. I remember I was in that joint.
That was all day thing. The Brunson League was all day thing.
No, it still is.
From 11 to 9,
12.
I'm in there 12 hours every Sunday in the summer, and to me, there's nothing better.
Yeah, you watch games all day.
Watching the games, watch again the impact on the city. When I really started to see that, it really opened up my eyes a lot more. Right. I know you got questions you probably want to ask, so if I mess up the flow, I apologize.
No, you good. That's free spell, right?
Like, you know, we talking about the impact on the city is my major focus over, you know, who you see and how packed the gym is. So I actually originally was planning on leaving. At the time, I worked at Nike. So I worked in the store, and I also worked at the sales office. My former store manager, who I call my big bro, kept a strong relationship with. He was now out in corporate killing it. Told me it was going to be a spot open for me. Make sure when that time comes, I'm ready to apply for it. Right. Nike was all I ever dreamed about. So I was like, I'm definitely doing that. So he now hits me up around May to let me know about the position. Matter of fact, it was May 17th. I checked the date earlier. So May 17th, 2017, he lets me know. Then we fast forward to that year and things like getting crazier and crazier and crazier. You see how many kids are coming into the gym. You see how many people are connecting with people they haven't seen in a while because basketball unites people. Next thing I know, man, that game between Team Muhammad at the time that had Omar Strong, Akil Carr, Lasan Chroma, who won the national title with UConn, Zeke, Isaiah Armwood, playing against PTF with Will, Quinn Cook, Tone, Roscoe Smith, all of them. That game was back and forth crazy. Only lost that Will ever took in my league so far. So when that game ends, a lady comes over to me because I had to stand on the chair to be able to see to take the stats because it was so packed. So she walks over at the end of the game and was like, this is the new Crime Stopper now. When she said that, we already know what that name means in the city, right? So when I heard that, it like registered immediately. Like my heart was hooked. It's like, I can't go nowhere. There's no way I can do this anymore. So he let me know about the position. I'm like, yo, Coop, that's my big bro. I was like, Coop, I don't think I'm gonna do it. He laughing like, okay, whatever. I know how much this means to you, how much Nike means to you, how much this opportunity means to you. You're gonna be on that plane, you're going to Oregon, it's gonna happen. Right. Opportunity came, I didn't take it. I already saw the impact. I cannot leave. I feel like in our city, so many people have a chance to do something, and the minute they do anything that is positive, they take it and they go somewhere else with it.
They do. That's a fact.
So I was like, man, I'm gonna put my feet. I'm in the trenches. We're gonna keep it that way. I'm not going nowhere.
Well, you here now, and including before you said that you see the vision clearly. Where exactly do you see this going?
Next level.
Yeah.
So you already have, and next level is not just NBA guys. Like I don't rely on that. So there are countless people that always go, man, can you believe it? If Jason Tatum came, what about if Luka comes? Like I don't know where the hell that came from. Like Summer League or something.
You know he's not coming.
Right, like,
Never say that. You might.
I mean, if you do it, I'll take it, of course. But my focus is whoever is a true hooper in this city that understands what it's about and understands how important it is. As long as y'all come every summer, that's what matters. As far as next level is concerned, I already got a tournament that's about to take place next month. So going out to LA June 24th through the 26th, I'll put together a pro-am tournament. So it's going to be us, the Drew League, Dykeman, Miami Pro League, AEBL for Atlanta, and the Rumpf Classic for Philly.
Okay.
So pandemic.
That's all big names right there. So just to have your league associated with them, that must have been like a full coming for you, like just to.
It's like it's full circle at the same time. It's like I'm always going to be humble, but to realize people always think again the big names, right?
Mm-hmm.
We know the big names, Julie, Dykeman, and all that.
Fact.
So in that perspective, it's like, who am I? I was like, well, shit, I'm the person with the plan.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm the one that got on the call with the Julie commissioner, the Dykeman commissioner, and started to pitch it to them. That actually happened 2018.
So you did it?
Yeah, this is my tournament.
Talking shit then.
So 2018 is how that actually got started when I went to LA for All-Star Week. You know how you and your friends make plans and your plans don't go that way because your friends always bluff? Yeah. So we've been talking about going to All-Star Week the last 3 years. They kept bluffing. 2018 rolls around. I'm like, yo, I'm going. I'm going to go by myself. I don't care no more. I'm going to do this.
Go network.
At the time, the Julie dropped that documentary called No Excuse, Just Produce. So I watched the documentary. And at the end of it, it's saying how the guy who ran it for the last 25 years has now passed it on to his daughter. I'm looking, I'm like, okay, same age probably. She got to have social media. Found her social media, sent her a DM. She responded. I was like, yeah, I'm going to be in your city. Let's meet. Let's see what we do with this. We met, went out to eat, and I thought it was going to be a quick, 30-minute, here's my idea. Let me know if you like it. Next thing I know, it's been 3 hours. The waitress is like, yeah, I need y'all to get ready to get out of here. We about to close. She ready to go home. Like, we just hit it off, like legit, genuine friendship, like off the rip.
That's good.
That's how it got started. So when the pandemic hit, that idea came back around. She was like, I think it's time. I really think it's time, let's do it. So when she said she was in, I reached out to Dykeman. I said, look, Dykeman, LA, nobody's seen that yet. Make sure y'all play each other. He said, oh, I'm definitely in. Atlanta wanted to be a part of it because it's Atlanta. They in. Miami, they in. Philly, the guy who runs that, White Mike, that's my white brother. I was like, yo, when I thought about other leagues, people thought Goodman League and all of that. I was like, no offense, I'm trying to build for the future. Goodman is a great league, but at the time, nobody realized will it keep going? Is it going to stop? Mike has something great going in Philly. It's like, he's going to bring that in, and that's my 6 right there.
That's dope.
That is very dope. But one question one thing I'm going to say about this whole thing is, yo, your league is going to get KD. I promise you. It's going to get KD. And when you get KD in that joint, you got to get a bigger gym. I ain't going to hold your gym. Got to be somewhere else. When KD come, yo, your shit going to sell out, bro. I don't know how. Like, when KD come, KD, I'm telling you, bro. KD come, it's over. It's just going to be sold out. I'm telling you.
That would be cool. If not,
it was talks that one point
they talking.
It was talks that Melo was going to show one time. The talk that KD was going to go one time.
Yeah. I don't want to speak in a KD situation. I'll speak on Melo.
Okay.
Melo was going to come in 2017.
Right.
Again, that year was going to be insane.
Yeah.
So when I spoke to him, he was like, yeah, I'm definitely with it. Like, let me know when the game is. I let him know. He was like, where y'all playing at? I told him where. He was like, nah, anywhere but there. Because don't forget, UA House is the old Melo Center. So something clearly went wrong in that situation. Who knows what happened? But he was like, yeah, I ain't doing that. So I was like, damn, all right.
Can't move that jump.
So what ended up happening is, again, another situation takes place. I had to go to
leadership day, right?
Leadership for my playoffs.
Yeah.
But it's the playoffs. My rule is simple. If you don't play a regular season game, it don't matter who you are, you don't play in the playoffs.
Right.
That's my rule. People was like, yo, it's Melo. If Melo say he want to play, he going to play. I said, no, we not. The people that paid to play, that believe in this, they won that championship. If Melo says, I'm playing and it's against your team, and you're committed, you trying to get the chip, you trying to get that. What do I look like saying, I know you paid and it means a lot to you, but Melo said he's going to play, so sorry.
That's messed up.
Standing on principles, though. That's what it
That's
is.
what I do. Sure. And you already know 2017 that happened as well with Malcolm Delaney.
I know I'm hip.
Malcolm did play. So he's another one. He came in the gym and everybody at the table pressing me. Like, you know who that is? You know who Malcolm Delaney is? I said, yeah, you know who I am. It's my league. My name is on it. Y'all know what my role is? Simple.
Right.
Only other way you can play is if the other coach says it's fine. Right. The team they was playing was Sam's Ballers.
Yeah, they not rocking. They not rocking.
That's how Malcolm played. Sam, that was the Final Four game. Sam said, let him play. We're going to bust his ass. They won by 25. So he said,
I remember. Yeah, I was there. I remember that.
That was a mess though, because the situation was just terrible. The floor was a mess.
It was like that environment. You couldn't really have that crack up because it's cars parked from on the side.
It was raining. Fire marshal was down LTA.
I remember that.
We got to go back to that. So since we brought that up, that was the first time I realized again, like this is another level. So we had to go to LTA for the playoffs. Has anybody been to leadership?
Yes. I played in the leagues.
My bad. So if y'all know, it's like simple little gym, both sides, right? So I'm like, this ain't gonna work. It's gonna be empty in here.
Ain't gonna be empty.
Man, that shit was packed. I'm finding out people are parking on like people's lawns and everything.
They don't even care.
Yeah, so like Will and them, they played their game. They won. He dipped out. I see him come back in. And y'all know Will got like some big ass eyes, right? He come back in, they want to win. I'm like, what? He's like, yo, they about to shut it down. So what you talking about? Fire marshals like right behind him. In the middle of another great playoff game going on between DMV Warriors and Team Muhammad, they going back and forth. You had to stop. You got to walk around the whole gym. If you're parked on somebody's lawn, move your vehicle. If you're double parked, move your vehicle. 20 minutes.
That killed the whole momentum right there.
That's what I thought. Remember, they picked up like nothing ever happened. They went to overtime and all that. Like, that game was crazy.
I wasn't even there for that one, so I can't.
I seen the video.
I was there every Sunday, so I was hit.
Yeah, that game was definitely insane. Man, there's been so many moments, man. I just want to see how many more we can make until it's not supposed to happen no more. Because I'm going to always push for it, man, and keep it going every chance I get, do something different.
And speaking of killing momentum, sorry.
Okay. Poppin' shit, gotta get it. Niggas out here hating, but ain't stopping shit. Stop procrastinating, wasting time and shit. Niggas only gangster when they signing in. Hold on, baby, I can't hold on. So long, baby, I can't go on. So wrong, damn, I did you.
Yo, we back. Jim, I think what's the quote of the day?
All right, so self-discipline is the most important thing to have.
Yo, I get no warnings from y'all, bro. I think he gonna speak with a quote. All right, so when I think self-discipline, it is highly important. I would say everything, man. Self-discipline, self-esteem, the whole nine. If you are sitting here and thinking to yourself, you gotta rely on somebody else, it's a problem. If you're not disciplined, it is a problem because everything is not gonna go the way that you expect it to. So you gotta be disciplined. You gotta remember your motives, your reasoning, your why. You take it from there one step at a time.
So how has that helped you build your team to make the league everything that it is today?
It's helped a lot. Now we talked about what 2016, 15, 17, all them. Let's talk about 2019. How about that? So 2019, if we go back 2018, I was at BCC. So that's another year, another great year. Getting to that a little bit later on. We're gonna go with the hardships first though. 2018, great year. Plan on going back to BCC 2019. About 3 weeks before we were scheduled to start, the new president at BCC comes through and shuts down all of athletics. I'm like, all right, it is what it is. It ain't got nothing to do with me. No. All of athletics, not just the school, anything that can happen in the school. So with 3 weeks out, I had to find another gym last minute. So I ended up having to go to St. Francis. If y'all know anything about St. Francis, they charge you an arm and a leg for everything. So I had to go there week one. Then I go to Digital. Digital was my first time dealing with a Baltimore City high school. I did not know that North Avenue controls how many police you have to have. I've always had one, sometimes two officers. That's it. Go down North Avenue. They're like, yeah, we've seen footage of your games. You need to have at least 8 officers there. I said, like, yeah, 8 is mandatory. It's like, so, okay, I get it, you've seen footage, but have you heard anything bad? It's a packed gym, yes, but it's all unity, it's all love. So why would you try to say we gotta have 8 officers? He's like, you know what, I'm sorry. I could have done 4. Whatever. So we cut down to 4. That 4 cost me, because you gotta pay that price as well, an additional, unplanned, $18,600. An additional $18,600. I didn't plan on having to pay for that many officers. And you have to pay, or you cannot have your event at a Baltimore City public school.
That's full season. That's full season pay.
Full season. I operate on 12 days.
Yeah.
For 12 days, they charge you 18.
Because you got to have them 4 officers.
That's crazy, bro. They make some money. They charge dip and dab and anything.
They break their pockets. Simple as that. So, thankfully, I made it through because my thoughts were, okay, do I charge the teams last minute and raise the price? Can't do that.
Nah.
Do I charge admission all of a sudden? I'm about community. What do I look like saying, oh, y'all got to pay now?
Yeah, you never know the car. Audience and people might not show up no more for the tag.
I wasn't even thinking about it. My only thought was, I'm about community. This would not be the case. I've always said I wanted to be free. So what am I going to do? Take the hit. So I took the hit. Thankfully it was my first year that I actually had concessions control as well. So that helped a little bit.
But I was about to say that.
Yeah, it was still down bad though. So I just started after that, get through that year. I was like, yo, I want my money back, yo. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? I hadn't worked for anybody in a minute, so get my money back. I'm like, all right, I'm going back to retail. Where can I work that's gonna be easy? Foot Locker. I did one interview. I think they hired me like on the spot. So was at Foot Locker. That's how I met Ebony. Started off in Towson before they start bouncing you all around and shit.
Yeah.
Like once I got my money back, I hit like that 19K. I quit. Got what I came for.
That's a funny story because I remember I remember his phone ringing and I was like, oh, I'm at the register. I'm like, oh, your phone's ringing. And then I looked and I'm like, his thing was Brunson League, and I was like, wow, Sean Brunson, Brunson League. And I was like, I didn't know that was you. And he was looking at me like, duh, stupid. Like you around here busting everybody around, and you know everything else, but you couldn't put them 2 little dots together.
I think a lot of people thought that too, because even I would go to the games. Obviously, my brother-in-law be playing in the games. He was like Brunson League. I'm like, all right, I ain't putting 2 and 2 together or whatever the case is. That's when I was like, yo, I went to school with this nigga. And I was like, this is crazy. I was like, yo, this is what he always talked about. It's just like, it's crazy. But it's good that, we have somebody that grew up in the city is putting back into the city, especially something like that, because, I don't think we even had anything like this in the city.
Not over like 15 years.
Yeah. It's been a minute.
It was that one year that with Melo LeBron
lockout year.
Lockout year. That's probably like the biggest thing that happened in that city that one year. Yeah. That one summer.
What was it at? It was at Morgan State.
It was at Morgan State. I don't even know how we even got into that, but you got the leads dudes coming. They just make a phone call. They just make it happen.
Yeah, that's more stuff I ain't gonna speak on because I ain't got to do with my league, so I'm good. But to rewind, because that funny story was definitely funny. So usually, that's how I keep it that way by design, right? With her, the only reason I looked at her like that is, like she said, she boss around everybody in that motherfucker. I think I was brought in to be like the manager, like the assistant manager. I don't even care what the title was, but it's supposed to be a higher title. She's still like, look, this is what she about to go do.
I
was sitting over there and she said, well, he should be right there. But I do. I got up, right?
But that came from me having that background altogether. But it just for me putting the piece together, I was like, dang. Because I had been to the games and my first summer home from college, going in the gym, just having something to do on Sundays, that was what I love to do. It's dang, it's oh, I know the person who is responsible for this, and it's it's just crazy that sometimes you don't put those pieces together when they're right in front of your face.
I don't want it to be put together most of the time. So I can go back to, you mentioned, off camera, you used to be at Nike. We met at Nike before. Man, I was in Nike one day working at the register, and I ran the guy up, and he kept like looking at me funny. So it's like, yo, you looking at me for a good reason or what? Like, let me make sure I figure my P's and Q's real quick. He like, yo, you look real familiar. I'm like, I don't know where you're from. I'm ringing him up. He was like, you the dude to do the stats, the Brunson League. You the stat guy. I was like, yeah, that's me.
He called you the stat guy.
Yeah, my master's all the way back in footwear. Name is Derek. Talks extremely fast. You can barely understand him. Man, he heard that. He's like, hey, yo, put some respect with his name, yo. I'm on Brunson League right there. He going to Brunson League. Put some respect with his name. I was like, yo, chill. I don't need all that. But I like to be in the background and have the focus be on my players. Have the focus be on the fans, just watching them engage. The fans, Jesus, man. R.I.P. my man, G Songs. Yeah, I never had anybody on the mic because it's not necessary. You got G.
On the sideline every Sunday.
You can hear him the whole time with no mic.
The whole time. I hate the mic. It's like, yo, he here? That's the mic right there.
That's all you need. It was like 4 of them standing on the sideline ready.
Echo
him, butts, the whole night. Yeah.
Anything they said, it went.
They had t-shirts. They had t-shirts.
Oh
what
my
t-shirts
God.
called?
Brunson League shit talker.
They was there faithfully.
No.
Big time games too.
They started. They was there early.
Because I remember them games like, because y'all had set games like it was earlier games, right? It was cool, nice crowd. But after 5 o'clock.
I thought it was 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock.
It was at 3?
3 was
That's right. Y'all started at 12. That's like 11
o'clock. The 3 o'clock games. Well, you know you had to get there by 1 o'clock to get this game.
3. Everything got to be spoken. I'm putting the schedule together every week. People gonna figure it out. You just said it. Y'all knew. Early games was like, I may have to be there, whatever. 3 o'clock hit. 3 o'clock in the building. I had to schedule that way every week.
You had to, because now you ain't getting no seat.
Yeah, big money game was 7.
Oh, you're not even getting there. You're not even getting there.
Yeah, they bang on the door like, yo.
I remember because you had rappers out there. You had Tank come through.
Man, Tank got in. That was cool. I had another one. Who's underneath Tank? Oh my God. Next up, and I can't think of his name right now.
I know you're talking about too.
Jesus. He gonna kill me. See this. Lorenzo Simpson. So his manager at the time was like, yo, this is not 2018. It's like, yo, we want to make the announcement like right before the PCF game that he's turning pro. I'm like, yeah, you definitely can do that. I'm with that. He got there late. So he out there banging, trying to get in. Like, again, I told you I want to be here. Yo, like, make that announcement another time.
Right. Yeah, you can't. I mean, I like how you kind of set your standards and you live by them and you just don't go over no top just because you got a name. Like, a lot of people should do that because it's not like, because everybody's human like that.
Simple as that. Everybody's human. Everybody's important. It goes back to, my league going to 2017. Another reason I want to get out of UA House. Under Armour that year came to me and was like, yo, we're going to make this league blow up. It's going to be huge. We talking Drew League, all that. So one of the first things they said to me was like, I need you to cut your league down to 12 teams. I was like, what? Cut the league down? They're like, yeah, it's got to be cut down to 12 teams, shorten up the rosters. What? I got teams that's coming from DC. I got teams that's coming from Pennsylvania, Virginia, Delaware. You want me to shorten my rosters and cut the teams when this gives them more exposure? That's backwards. It's like, nah, I'm probably not going to do that, but let's see what they're going to offer. They came through one of their offers, like, oh, we're going to have this and the shoes and all of that. Before we got started, they decided to send me this pack, right? So I get home and it's like boxes like lined up. I'm like, all right, so what they sent me? What they sent was packs of socks and them ugly ass $6.95 basketballs. It's like, man, y'all got me up. I ain't about to change nothing for y'all for sure. So if you think about that year, you had, I remember him probably, but the playoff game, y'all played against the team that had to do ding, Big 6'9".
Yeah, Big 6'9", 6'10". I know you're talking about it.
Who knew him before that?
Nobody.
He and Sydney killing.
I remember, yo, because we was trying to figure out, because I remember it was L&D versus them. And we was like, yo, who's every nigga just dumping everything.
Right.
Stat was like, I got him, don't worry about it. So I was
staying there, that a lot. But yeah, you had him also bringing in from that DC area. Well, not DC, he's Maryland, Traveling Queen. That's his first year. He would have never played.
And he just won
everything.
Player of the Year. Everything. And Traveling, I remember that game too at the Brunson. I mean, it was at the UA House. He came out of line. He dunked on who? From people. From PTF, he dunked on Travis.
No, Travis, I'm a big 6'10" Travis.
Yeah,
Because he had it. If you
went
ever
to the
saw
baseline.
my video on that one, we talked about the crew and the baseline and all that, G and busting all of them. So about 2 plays earlier, he took off down the lane and laid it up. Butts like, man, you gotta dunk that shit next time.
Yeah, he did.
Backdoor cut, perfect pass,
It was
Travis
crazy.
right there, right on his head. It's like, God damn.
Whole crowd went crazy.
Whole
Like,
crowd goes
it was
crazy.
like a 10-minute shutdown. Everybody on the court.
Everybody
Yo,
on the court.
Crowd goes crazy. After the game, Will hit my phone. It's like, Will is a diehard just basketball junkie. He like, yo, who was number 20 on the black and red team? Shorty like that. And this is 2017. And now people are finally starting to see the things we saw years ago. Like you said, G League MVP, G League Finals MVP, won the chip. All in 1 year. I think that's the best G League season anybody's ever had.
Yo, he took over. He made that one move in the spot. I became an instant fan ever since when I saw him. Then I started seeing him because I followed his college career, and then after that he went to the G League, and I'm like, oh, then he got a nice little deal with the Lakers for a minute. Then he went to the
Yeah, they dropped ball on that one.
they
did.
dropped ball on that one.
Big time.
I'm a Lakers fan too. I saw they got rid of us.
That's unfortunate.
He definitely is a bucket off the bench. You could have used him off the bench.
G League player of the year, man. You could have did something. Man, that's interesting. I'm gonna go back until like the discipline part when you was talking about like your hardships. Like when you basically was working at Foot Locker, you was humble though. You know what I'm saying?
Always.
Yeah, but I'm saying a lot of people that actually for your status made that within a 3. I'm not saying because you went from like a 2016 to 2019. That's when the 3-year span when your name was. Everybody when it came in the summertime, everybody was talking about Brunson. It was to the point that people didn't even know who you were. They just kept saying Brunson.
I like that though.
Yeah, so you feel me? So it's like for you to even like take that L you said and had to just suck it up like, oh, I'm gonna get my money back and work at Foot Locker for a minute. I mean, usually most people like character, people minds like they from especially out here, like people like, I'm too big than that. I'm not even gonna do it. But you did it and you got your money back.
And he did it in a way that nobody knew who he was.
That's the good thing.
And like, cause people will go in like, yo, he could have easily said, yo, you ain't gonna talk to me. I'm Sean Brunson. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying, like-
and he just, and I think that speaks to like who you are as a person and like the poise of like, you know, I'm a businessman and you know what? I'm here to make money and none of that other stuff matters.
Simple. And I wanted to change the narrative. Like you talked about the city and the mindset that so many people have. Once they get a name, you become a D-list celebrity, whatever it is.
Exactly.
Now can nobody tell you nothing.
Exactly.
I feel as though when it comes to life in general, in some way, some form, our purpose is to serve. It don't matter what you do, your purpose is to serve somehow, some way. You should never be above that. So this is how I serve. This is how I give back. So I will never be above that. And I don't look at things from a financial point of view. Someone else has been on film. If anybody saw this, we go back to that day, the Final Four, when the floor was a mess.
Oh, yeah.
Right before PTF and LMD was supposed to play, they're trying to figure out like what I'm going to do. Somebody walks over and it's like, yo, I get St. Francis for you, no problem. We get that right now. I'm like, word?
Everybody went over there.
Before everybody went though, this is the other thing about that day. He says, I get it, no problem, easy. I was like, yo, for real? He was like, yeah, you got to charge all these niggas $2 a person. Shut down immediately. I don't care if it's $1. I'm not charging. Y'all know that's my rule. For you to say that and to think I'm gonna make that happen, you lost your damn mind. So when I found out everybody went to St. Francis because of what he said, I was like, yo, this is some bull.
Yeah, I remember because everybody was talking about I'm gonna get the car, meet you over there. I remember. I mean, we stayed put because we down in D, so we was going. Right. So I remember that because I remember everybody was getting in their car and just left St. Francis, and then somehow we just still stayed at the Mellow Center at the time.
Just try to give it a chance.
That floor was OD slippery. I remember that.
Terrible. It was raining that day. They didn't take care of the floor at all. They had an event there before we got there, and they didn't tell me anything.
That's how strong black people today.
But for me, it's just all the things that you got to battle, man. It's like, yo, what's more important? Again, is it me or is it the people that you do it for? And it's always going to be the people. For me, that's an easy answer. Right down to the league itself. So when people see that you got a Kill Carr and Will Barton and Malcolm Delaney, so since I don't really talk much, this is probably like my 4th interview in the span of 9 years. So me personally, I need people to understand that it's about more than just big names. Malcolm understands this. I talked to him last week. It was like, yo, when you think about it, right? if you was killing at Towson Catholic, right? After Towson Catholic, he goes to Virginia Tech. At Virginia Tech, he's bouncing around overseas for years. Then he becomes, he got signed by Atlanta Hawks, all of that. So we're talking about a span of a good 10 years, probably.
10 years.
So therefore, from Towson Catholic to Virginia Tech to overseas, when is the last time that your mother, your father, your best friends, your cousins, those who support you and love you, got to see you do what you do in person?
Right.
That's what it's about.
You thought deeper than everybody would probably see.
Always.
Because that's why he on That Boy Got Knowledge.
I mean, even this is my first time meeting him. He doesn't seem like there's a certain level of humility from when you walk in. It's not even like because humility is more so thinking less of yourself. So I don't really do that. I know you have high esteem of yourself, but it's still a level of.
I think that probably come back from just your upbringing.
Upbringing. So.
Definitely get it from that. That and plus I view when people walk in with arrogance, like don't get me wrong, I'm humble, but I keep a chip on my shoulder, but I keep it there in a humble way. Arrogance is a downfall for a lot of people, in my opinion.
Right.
So I never would have that on display. And my upbringing, so even that, okay, so people who found out know who I am, I was like, oh man, you put your name in the league, that's arrogant.
Nah,
Far from it. And like somebody was like, man, no, that's an Oprah, she got a name on everything. So I was like, man, again, one of them rare times I spoke up, I was like, look, both of y'all are wrong. For me, it's as simple as my mother is adopted. So the only Brunson I know personally with that name is her. In the future, I want everybody to know that name for her. Right. So that's why I put my name on. Not to me,
but it's tough though. The name fits like the Brunson League. It just sounds like something.
Man, even with
I can't
that,
imagine it being called anything
else.
else.
That's what I was thinking. Like Brunson League.
even with that, the fact that you just dedicated the league to your mom, and it's like it just goes back to what Jim was saying. Like you serving, for
a person who brought you in this world and taught you damn near everything you know. Hell yeah.
That's no better for that. That's your hit home to me right there. 'Cause I was like, yo, that's what I be trying. 'Cause I know we be doing business outside of this. Like,
right.
I know we be doing stuff. 'Cause I be trying. Me and Sean, we be locked in and trying to do stuff for the community. 'Cause especially for
it's on the way.
Yeah, I mean, we got stuff in the works, but we ain't gonna talk too much about it.
Nah. Might talk about it again.
Poppin' shit, gotta get it. Niggas out here hating, but ain't stopping shit. Stop procrastinating, wasting time and shit. Niggas only gangster when they signing in. Hold on, baby, I can't hold on. So long, baby.
Alright, so earlier you talked a little bit about like the opportunity with Under Armour. So talk to us a little bit about some of the other sponsors that you have and how that's helped push things forward a little bit.
Well, Under Armour, again, that wasn't an actual sponsor because I turned them down.
Right.
And not gonna have to deal with them again, most likely. The only sponsor that I've actually had has been DTLR. They became a sponsor in 2017, and they were doing it every year until the pandemic hit. And when the things got hit the hardest was retail. So last year when I brought the league back, no DTLR, so no sponsors at all. It was just me.
Are you looking at any other like local companies like a Shoe City, or have any of those reached out to you for sponsorship or sponsor? Or are you looking to have sponsors?
I am looking to have sponsors because I do have to realize, like, look, you can't keep paying for this year in, year out. But when it comes to like Shoe City, that is a competitor with DTLR, obviously. So it's like whoever wins that one takes that. But I'm looking more on a national scale. I have had local sponsors before. I forgot 2018. Oh Lord. I had my man Chad Arrington, aka Focus Music, Focus, all of that stuff. And for those who know his story, I got to go into it. But yeah, that was my last time having a local sponsor because I was like, I'm not taking no risk with, I don't know what I got going on outside of this and don't want my name attached to it. Right. So I am pursuing national sponsors now. And whether it's this summer I may have a couple, but next summer is when I plan on like really hitting hard, because another thing I feel like summer leagues don't understand is the power we have because these companies always want the culture. So if you want the culture of basketball, you got to come to the summer leagues. If you say that you care and we're going to do the right thing with the funds for those that will, like myself, then invest in it, and watch what I do with it. And it counts as marketing as well because I know what I'm going to do on the social media side. I'm just waiting on the opportunity to unleash it.
And y'all jerseys, y'all definitely, whoever did y'all jerseys was definitely tough that one year.
Oh,
with the city on it. They had the city on it. That was tough.
Wooter Apparel. I
Wooter,
apologize. I do have another sponsor. Damn.
Yeah, I was about to say. I remember the jerseys was tough. I was like, yo, is it a way I can get a pair of shorts? That's how I was trying. I just wanted I don't even care about the jersey. I just wanted the shorts.
Don't cut me, people. Wooter Apparel is another sponsor, but they're talking about the designs on that. So that's me every year.
Okay.
So another thing, these other companies, whether it's in sports or whatever it may be, you got a person that does this, that, all that type of stuff.
Right.
So stats, me. Uploading them on the website, me. Designing the website, me. The editorial pieces for the website, me. Designing the uniforms, me. I do everything.
Stuff.
But this is, again, people may not understand your vision fully when you speak of it, when you see it. If you're the one who understands it, do you have the ability to do it?
Right.
Get it done no matter what.
Have you ever thought about like you coming from, working in retail for like a Foot Locker and Nike? Have you ever thought of and having contacts, at Nike's at the corporate level and stuff like that? Have you ever thought about saying, all right, maybe this might be the time to reach out to some of those folks or whatever the case is?
Well, have I thought about it?
Yeah.
Yes. Will I ever do it? I doubt it. Companies like your Nikes, Adidas, Under Armour, all of those, they don't want to put money into it and be a sponsor and help you out. They would have put money into it and take over. It goes back to Under Armour trying to tell me to cut it down to 12 teams, something that's simple, that's stupid. Other companies like Nike will say, look, we're going to give you the glitz and glam. The gym will be completely redone, like on some old school Pimp My Ride type stuff, or a gymnasium pretty much. But they're also going to try to tell you everything to do.
Yep.
I am also big on something that we lack, black ownership. I don't understand how when everywhere we go, we are the majority, especially when it comes to consuming things in our country. So why are we always the minority when it comes to ownership? I refuse to ever let go of any of that.
That's why he's a ThatBoyGotKnowledge. Keep saying.
Well, that kind of goes back to what I was about to ask you, but you already pretty much answered it already. I said, "Was you selling?" How was you saying?
No.
I
was never doing that.
I mean,
who would run better than he would? Because he does everything.
I mean, I had to ask because a lot of people they say no, but then they start talking about their money. Then
that goes back to they see dollars again.
Exactly.
I've had the opportunity, whether it's $1 or 100, it does not matter. Dollars is the last thing on my mind. Impact is always front and center.
Yeah, like I said, you go back to what your principles stand for. What's your upbringing? So, I mean, I don't knock it.
I appreciate it.
I mean, I don't knock it. I always say it because like a lot of people be like, nah. Like you said, like, nah, I'm staying in my hood. You get that money, I'm gone.
I'm gone. Yeah.
What's that on Friday? As soon as I got my check, I was gone.
But then it goes back to it's much more demeaning of the Brunson League. It's it's much more than what people may really think. It's a dedication to his mom. Because like you said, she is the first Brunson. You know what I mean? So it's just like I'm not giving that up. You know what I mean? This is something that's going to be passed down to the next Brunson, to the next Brunson, to the next Brunson. It's going to it's going to symbolize something too. You know what I mean?
And even if that never happens, it's people know the name. The name alone stands the test of time. People will always talk about it because those memories are unforgettable.
Yeah. Well, like you say, you talk about your business savvy. How do you profit off some of this stuff?
We're going to get that with the sponsors the right way when it comes to the national sponsors. So if we look at stuff like, my personal life, I'm a mortgage broker. So everything I do has to be about numbers. So when we talk about making a profit off of things like for my league, again, the opportunity has always been there to get money in multiple ways. But if it doesn't look right, I'm not dealing with it.
Okay.
I feel as though when you do things the right way, it may be a little bit harder, but when you actually get that stuff, it will stand the test of time and it'll be continuous. Compared to when you chase $1, you may get it one day and it's gone the next.
Right.
So until that day actually comes, which is around the corner, it feels like, especially with the tournament on the way, until then, just keep grinding until it happens the right way. I have the funds to make it happen. I'm going to make it happen. I'm not going to sit here and go, inflation has everything going sky high.
Facts.
The price of me having to get a venue now goes up. Does that mean I now charge my teams more? No. Still going to have them at the same price. Do I now charge more for a hot dog and all that? No, same price. Admission, still free.
Paying for the glizzy.
That one year y'all had like was it fish and fries?
A little bit of everything. That's
I
what
know.
The seafood salad.
Yeah, I was
Like,
like,
You
yo,
got black
I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't gonna hold you. That's what
Black Rico was selling joint by the stand.
Yo, listen, they was
What
going.
camera? We here?
Yeah.
Rico, you my guy, but you was dead ass wrong that year, bro. Like, Jesus.
No, I ain't gonna hold you. Like they was gone before. Like you could even. Like I'm like, yo, you just post. I'm like, yo,
But that's a part of the experience. How many times you been in the league and it's the basic hamburgers, chips, all of that?
when you got,
It's
I
like,
came
nah,
down,
I'm gonna come with something
that
different.
fish was that's. I ain't
And speaking of like venues, though, do we have a venue for this year?
I ain't announcing it yet. I always do that last minute. Yeah. So yeah, we'll find out.
I also feel like it's
we
one of
have
those things
AC.
where like
AC. Yeah, I ain't know.
Look, and that's when ain't on me. That's on the damn city. They gotta get it together, man. Jesus, that's where I need support at.
Shoot, hella flans.
Wow, that's crazy.
My fault. You was about to say something.
No, I was just gonna say like when you talk about like you don't say like, are you going to digital to the games? You say like, are you going to Brunson?
Yeah.
We don't say like nobody says, are you going to this location to watch those games? We say, you going to Brunson?
Yeah.
Oh, all right, I'll meet you down there.
But you still asked the where it's at.
What would
Yeah.
you change it?
Will I change what?
If you had a video?
Again, what will I change what?
Like, so she says that you know you're going to this different place. Is that something that you wanted? You wanted to go to different places in different parts of the city so people go there?
You want
Or
your
would you
own
rather
building?
have your
I want my own building,
Okay.
and I really want it now because I've been dealing with the same BS for years, man. It should be as simple as, in my mind, people recognize what you're doing, the good it does for a city that rarely has anything that's good, and they want to say, bring it here, keep it here, don't change anything. Instead, to this day, I still hear, well, again, I ain't gonna say the names of different venues, but it's like, well, how much money can I make off of this? Or it's you have a new president that comes in at BCCC where I thought I had a home. Me and the AD was as close as can be from my days being a student there and playing sports there. She leaves, new president comes through and says, I don't care for sports at all.
Right.
Shuts everything down.
It's crazy.
You go to our high schools and now they're telling you, well, due to the fact that there's so many black people in here, you need more safety and security.
Right.
It's always something.
Everything. It's always something that never ends.
You ever get like advice or like tips from like other leagues as far as like I said, like the Brunson League is in Philly, it's supposed to the college.
Yeah.
The Drew League, I think they got their own gym now. Don't they got their own gym?
No, it's just a weird thing. It's called King Drew High School, but it's not their gym. It's actual high school.
Oh, okay, yeah. See,
Yeah.
I just found out. So that's a good hit. But I'm saying like usually you ever like pick your brain from the other leagues as far as like how they be like working the system for them as far as like some of the issues that you have.
Yeah, I try, and then I realized a lot of the times that advice don't fit because our city is so different. Like, so I've definitely attempted that, and it don't work for real. You gotta find your own way.
Yeah, here it's like, all right, what have you done for me lately? You know what I mean? So it's just like,
Man.
Like even simple stuff like when you realize, like I'm thinking about Stanton, Tatum. Tatum don't even play no more.
Yeah.
Stanton is now 30 plus. I already saw a couple of years ago a way to keep this going. Let's get the younger guys involved earlier. So my idea was to start a high school all-star game. I put that on social media. That was 2019 as well, I believe. Everybody went crazy. It's like, yo, can't wait to have that happen. Junior versus senior game. We would have had your Justin Lewis, Ace Baldwin, Jordan Toles. All the top players at that time were juniors and seniors. So that's what I wanted to do. I go down to the state championship, University of Maryland. One of the things where people actually do recognize you, and it's a bad thing. I get pulled to the side by somebody there. They was like, yo, you know you can't do that, right? I'm like, why not? Out of the 50 states, there's probably about 5 of them that have this dumbass rule. Maryland's one of them. Juniors and seniors cannot play against each other in the all-star game. If juniors do, they may forego their eligibility for the next year.
Ooh.
For an all-star game?
It's always something.
I've never heard that before.
No, that makes sense.
That's
It
why.
makes sense.
That's why people be
It
going
makes
like
sense.
out of the city go play these games because
Always.
it's easier. Like they don't have these.
It makes complete sense if you don't think about it.
the stuff that you gotta do.
If you don't think about it, you just listen to it and say, okay, yeah, sure.
But I'm just sitting there
Man,
like,
that's
yo,
messed up, but it makes sense.
like, would it be beneficial for both parties? Like,
Hands down.
That's what
That's why I said to me it was a no-brainer. I was like, nobody's done this yet. Definitely gonna do this. The whole city's gonna love it. It's gonna be big. It's not gonna be just a game. Like, I got plans around the game. When we think about guys that are in the NBA now, right? Or NFL, whatever post sport you can think of. Usually you went from broke to millionaire overnight. Therefore, about 3 years when you're done playing, you're broke again because you didn't know what to do with your money and you spent it all. So with the high school game, outside of it, I wanted to have financial literacy courses as well. Can't even do that because of that situation. Now it's like, okay,
you can't even pitch that to them because they already still stuck on stupid.
right, because the kids obviously is going basketball draws them in.
Yeah.
Right. Now if I would have said financial literacy first, I would have been like, no. Right.
But that would have been good though for the coach. That would be good for the kids. Especially like you said, they're top in the city. They need that.
But I'm gonna just find ways what I always do. Okay, you tell me no, cool, roadblock. I'm going around. Eventually, I'm gonna get to where I know I am destined to go for me and for others. You're not gonna stop
That's why you gotta go to the mayor.
Not the mayor. You might could go to Brandon Scott now because he likes basketball.
Yeah, he
loves
You might could call him. He likes basketball.
Look.
it. Brandon Scott is one of the ones that I spoke to 2021. Remember 2020 pandemic starts, everything shut down. 2021, I didn't get a gym until last minute. If you may remember, I don't know if I deleted it or not, I actually had a post where I listed like all the things that are problems in our area. It needs to be fixed. And people start tagging Brandon Scott. Like, great. So he DMs me like, yo, let's see what I can do. And I mean, nothing came of it, but whatever.
At least he did.
Right. At that time,
At least he took notice of it.
Again, I just think eventually things will change. You don't know when it's going to be. We never do. It's all about that preparation, right? As long as I stay prepared, when that opportunity comes, I'm gonna be ready. Because I gotta remember, it's more than just me. If it's about me, I would have been quit. But since it is about more than me, eventually it hits. I'm like, all right, bet. Now I can help out this kid. I can do this for the community. I can do this because the doors are now open a little bit more. So I just gotta be ready for it.
I was gonna ask, like, do you have any plans of for Brunson League, for like the youth? I know you can't do like the little all-star game situation, but like
camps and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So with that, I'm trying to figure out navigate things in the city.
It's all about doing that. You gotta get permission slips. You gotta work with people's kids and all that.
All of that, and then
fingerprinting.
You gotta figure out who could be your employees. You gotta make sure they ain't got no background.
No, so it's like
that actually depends if you go through like certain schools. Like I work at the same as a lot of certain schools.
Yeah, I mean, certain, like maybe Catholic schools, something like that. They might be having a little bit different rules than outside like Baltimore City, because you know when you're at a private school or independent schools, different rules than actual Baltimore City schools. Yeah. That's why a lot of people end up choosing like independent schools because they got their own rules.
Exactly.
You just gotta abide by it and be able to finesse your way into like, you know what I'm saying, building a relationship with them. So that, I mean, I'm not saying you probably ought to try it. I'm saying that's like a route. We'll be better.
Trying to talk to the different schools again, because you never know things.
Like I said, St. Francis independent too, but they, like I said, they charge you all the way.
They want that money.
And at the same time, St. Francis is like a powerhouse in Baltimore City, so of course they gonna give you just off the strength of their name, they gonna charge you.
I mean, but you got other schools that are private schools that are not powerhouses. So we go back to 2021 when I'm trying to find a venue. Baltimore City was done. They're not letting nothing happen. Some of the private schools were letting things happen. So I was like, all right, maybe I can reach out to these schools and see what happened. The schools that I reached out to was telling me no, including one school that actually had a league going on at that time, tells me no, and their reasoning was COVID fears. I'm like, so your reasoning is a COVID fear, right? Okay, cool. How about out of every league in this country, aside of the NBA and NCAA, I'm the only one that has COVID testing set up before we even get in.
I was about to get into that too.
Yeah, I was about to say y'all did that.
Because over at the Rudy Gim gym, you were having a COVID test. Like, people couldn't even enter the gym without having.
You can't get without. So this is again before I had to settle on that venue. This is what I'm telling these other schools, and they're like, "Oh, well, no, COVID is the fear." So when I told them about the COVID test, it goes from COVID is the fear to you never hear it back. Why don't you just see what it is? I don't want all these black people in my stuff.
That's all you have to do. Yeah, but they try to say it in nice.
Yeah, politically.
Yeah,
Right, nice way, you know. I'm like, no.
Yeah, it's man. Baltimore, yo.
Baltimore, yo.
That's all you can say.
That's all you can say sometimes. It's like, yo, it's like crabs in the barrel here sometimes. It's like you do one thing and they just pull you right back down. You try to do something good, and then it's like it's like person on your stature. Don't even not even caring about the profit now. You just caring about giving back. That should be like somebody's like forefront. Like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and invest in him and do stuff like that.
You would think so, but not. You know, it's a city full of flaws.
I had to be mad. No, because it home to me because I deal with that stuff on a regular. Like it just people I call and even with you, like just going like getting their information just to call them and then for them to either pick up or even call you back. It's just like that right there is a hassle. Just getting there with the person.
That goes back, like Will, thank God Will is a humble, down to earth dude. But again, in my mind, it was that, yeah, I'm gonna hit you up. And we know how that usually goes. And that was an NBA guy saying it. We know how I go with the regular guy, right? So NBA guy definitely not gonna hit you up. Thankfully, he was different. But on a daily basis, yeah, the people that you expect to be there and supposedly can help you out because they have different things they can help with, the resources. Yeah, I'm gonna hit you up. Never hear from them. They gave your number, you call them, they never answer.
Never answer. That's every day, especially on the business side part. It's like that. I don't even know.
Yeah, but when you make it, then they try to get back with you.
That's cool. Stay on that side.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I want like before we get out of here, I want to say I appreciate you coming by. That was dope. There's some stuff that I didn't even know that you was going through, like mentally. Also, stuff that you make sacrifices just to give back. That's a major shout out to you.
Appreciate it,
man. If you before we go. Drop like your IG when people can find you. Like you got any announcements you want to drop? I'm not.
Brunson League. Don't worry about me. Follow the Brunson League.
I know what I'm talking about. I'm just saying. I ain't trying. I'm trying to give them like the IQ. Like yo, yeah, go ahead and drop. I'm trying.
So I'm gonna say that just follow Brunson at Brunson League on all social media handles. And as far as an announcement, again, I've already made like a mini announcement of the tournament starting this summer, June 24th to 26th in LA. I will say definitely be on the lookout for that because it's not going to be your typical run-of-the-mill tournament. My vision, again, is always bigger. What I'm planning on doing this year is changing the way that summer basketball is viewed forever. That's my goal.
What part of LA? I can make sure.
We're going to be in the Drew League School, King Drew High School. We're going straight to that venue.
And then this summer for the Brunson League, how many teams will be?
I don't know if I'm gonna cut it down yet. And may cut it to 16 only because of guys getting older, not like a choice. He was getting older and they're like kind of hesitant. So it may be 16, it may be 20. I got another week for them to decide. Like, yo, my knees is good. I can play.
Because you had 24 at one point, right?
No, always 20. I would have applications of 30 or more, and I got to choose 20.
Okay.
I remember some teams just couldn't even get in.
Yeah,
because it was tight. Ready to come up there and shoot shit up. They tight out here, man. Baltimore different, yo.
Always. Gotta love it.
Yeah, man. But Alex, I appreciate you coming, man.
I appreciate y'all having me.
And we out.
I just wanna spend my life with you all day. You say that you love me, is it true? You say I'm the only one that's all for you. Okay, make me feel away. Make me feel away. Shorty so damn dangerous. Fuck me like I'm famous, yeah. I've been so impatient. So glad that you made it here. Took my dick and faced it. Shorty going crazy, yeah. Thought that you was playing. Told me spray it everywhere. She want me to take it. What you tryna do? Shorty